Sup, ladies and gents, gentlemen and ladies, adults, teenagers, adolescents, and babies. Brought my brothers from other mothers along. Welcome to the Nest Inside the Iggles Live. We got a lot to get to tonight and a short amount of time to get to it in. So guess what? I'm going to do something that I normally wouldn't do on Cowboys Week. I'm going to avoid the temptation of talking trash to Cowboys fans for the first 15 minutes of the show. Got a lot of voices here, got a lot of expert opinions, much more interesting than mine. And I can't wait to get them on here tonight, fellas. Show means a lot to me tonight because it is Cowboys Week. I'm among the minority who still hates the Giants more. I think some part of that is the fact that we always beat the Giants. We always beat the Commanders. But the Giants hold I wouldn't say it's a special place in my heart. They make me sick, actually. But so do Cowboys fans. And that might be the reason I actually hate this organization so much. Like, I hate Jerry Jones, hate the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, hate Arlington, Texas, hate Dallas, Texas, hate the whole state of Texas in general. Hate this movie Friday Night Lights. And the only reason I hate Friday Night Lights is because they were from Texas and so are the Dallas Cowboys. But they truly annoy me. There are celebrities who like the Dallas Cowboys who I thought I liked until I realized I did like the Dallas Cowboys, like Jamie Foxx. Like, no disrespect to the guy as an individual, as an actor, as an entertainer, as a singer, as a songwriter, as anything he do. Jamie Foxx can literally do anything. He's a comedian. He can act. He can do everything. But Jamie Foxx is also a Dallas Cowboys fan. So really have no reason for him. Used to like LeBron James. That ended for me when I found out LeBron James was a Dallas Cowboys fan. What in the world's going on in the world? But that's another time. That's another place. That's another story. We'll get to that in a second because Jake and Brandon were on with me on Monday night and they wouldn't let me talk about the Dallas Cowboys or get into the 10 Commandments of how to deal with the Cowboys fans. We'll deal with that a little bit later. And we'll get John Brandon's opinion on that. But I tell you what, I did find one Dallas Cowboys fan who was near and dear to my heart. Great guy. One of my teammates over at Fansided. We got him on because we're going behind the enemy lines light to get you guys a little bit more insight on what they're talking about because I can't stomach the team enough to even pay attention to them. I heard something the other day about Jerry Jones deciding he didn't want to poke the bear. And then I heard something about Dak Prescott wanted to run honey all over himself. First of all, pause. You can't say stuff in a room full of men like I'm going to rub honey all over myself without saying pause. That's a rule. But we'll get into that a little bit anyway later too. But before we get into anything else, let's bring on my cohorts for the evening. Again, brothers from other mothers, Jake Beckman, Brandon Pockris, Jaleel the Thrill. They're all here. Welcome to Inside the Iggles. How y'all doing, fellas?
I'm not doing too bad. I'm not doing too bad at all. You mentioned Jamie Foxx earlier. I do if we have time for it at the end of the show, I do have a Jake's take that I want to bring up. That Jamie Foxx is. I was planning on this before. Jamie Foxx is part of it, and it's just very particular that you brought that up. So I just want to make sure that if we have time, I want to bring that up.
Dude, we always got time for Jake's takes or
Hell
John's Jaws or whatever Brandon's got going on. We got time for all that, man. But
Brandon's ramblings.
That works, actually. That actually works.
It's frustrating that we think so hard about like different names for segments and stuff, and then Ja just comes on here and just says, "You know what? No look," and just throws a touchdown.
It was certainly off the top of the head just now. It came to me, like a thief in the night.
I got a few suggestions, but we can workshop it. We got a lot of season left, but otherwise doing great. Very excited for this Eagles Cowboys game. Always a fun matchup to watch, even if you're not a fan. Like, it's just they're two great football teams playing each other, and overall, just football wise, once again, amazing NFL slate. Although not really sure why they put the Chiefs Dolphins at 9:30 in the morning, but that's a different discussion for a different day.
It is truly an amazing football weekend. Like we do get the Dolphins Chiefs right in the morning, and then we get to watch Red Zone for the first slate of games. Then it's Eagles Cowboys, and then Bills Bengals. Like that's an awesome day. It's gonna be a good day.
And if you want to go even beyond Sundays, college football is great this weekend too.
Bama LSU.
Now listen, we have to go beyond football for a second. I'm a Spurs fan as well. Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs also play on Sunday. So I'll be tuned into that as well.
The Slenderman costume was too much for me. I know I sent you that. I texted you about that. That was horrifying. A human being is not supposed to look like that.
You're welcome. really great. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I refuse to watch the NBA because some kind of way James Harden became a Sixer, and the Sixers make basketball unenjoyable. Like, it's a beautiful game, and they make a mockery of the game. Every time I watch these dudes play, it's like it's the first time they ever played together. It makes me sick. This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be enjoyable. This is supposed to be good. This is not good basketball. It just makes me sick. I'm sorry to say it.
You should watch this year, though, Jeff. Like, James is gone now. Tyrese Maxey has the confidence of the team, and he's been playing great so far this season. You should watch him this year with James gone.
I'm gonna take your word for it, man, and I'm gonna hold you personally responsible if this is bad as it was every other. And Brandon, I don't know you gonna top Brandon's ramblings. Like, I can't wait to see you find something better than that, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, I was gonna lean into like Pac's picks or something like that. I don't know. That's it. Hey, like I said, workshop it, and we'll come up with something.
All right. Well, we've had some heavy hitters on all season long during the season, man. Got some cool new graphics. Check them out. Very proud of this. We got Behind Enemy Lines. Check that out. Is that not hot?
Yes.
Like that.
Loving it. Nothing says enemy like the Dallas Cowboys. Nothing says enemies like Dallas Cowboys fans, but I did find one who I actually do like. I love this guy to death, man. Heavy hitter over at the Landry Hat, our fan site that's dedicated to Dallas Cowboys content. Dude is a heavy hitter. When I get stuck and I don't know what to talk about, I actually go over to Brandon's page. I actually steal ideas, and then I make Eagles comps with the same idea. But welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. My guy, great to talk to, wealth of information. You're going to love his energy. You're going to love everything he has to say, except if it's poor Dallas Cowboys and everything. But welcome to the stage. Jerry Trotta, my guy, the one Dallas Cowboys fan I like, just can't even understand how you ended up picking that team, man. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Everything's great, man. Everything's great. We appreciate you coming on, man. And I didn't want to wreck your entire night and get your family angry at me and everything. So we're going to just jump right into it if that's okay. I just want to talk about Dak Prescott and the whole rubbing honey on himself thing, man. Like, what was going on? What did he say? How did this come about? Like, what's going on, man? Like, clear this up for me.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what was going on there. I think he was just looking for a good quote to feed the media for the week. I guess he was following Jerry Jones's comments, right? And I guess that's what Dak had planned to fire back. I definitely provided a talking point.
All right, that made sense. That made sense. All right, so we'll actually transition away from that because that was scary. So, Mike McCarthy, we know how we feel about Mike McCarthy. We are always talking about how bad he is and how we want him fired and stuff like that. And then we think about it as Eagles fans, like, well, maybe this guy's terrible. Maybe we want him staying around as long as possible. He's like Jason Garrett too. We just want this guy here in Dallas. But that's what we say about Mike McCarthy as Dallas Cowboys enthusiasts, a guy who covers the team every day, guy who's in touch with the fan base and what they're saying. What do you guys actually think about Mike McCarthy? How good of a job is he doing?
So I think Cowboys fans are grateful for Mike McCarthy. I think they see him as a significant upgrade to Jason Garrett. He's definitely established a consistency within the culture that maybe wasn't there with Jason Garrett. You know, you're talking about back-to-back 12-win seasons. They're 5-2 to start this season with the big game coming up. That being said, I would say that the fan base does have issues with his game management. His clock management at times can be very, very questionable. And before week 8, just now, his offense was very bland, very, very bland. He wasn't calling any at-snap motion. Any motion he did call was mostly for disguise purposes, shifting players into different positions. But that changed a lot in week 8 against the Rams. We saw a lot of Dak Prescott on the move, CeeDee Lamb getting shifted all over the place. So right now, I would say he's back in the good graces. But for all there was talk about what succession plan there would be after the season if things didn't go well.
Where were you at? Like, because I know initially when Sean Payton quit, retired, whatever, he took leave. There's a thought like he was the chosen one for the Cowboys job because that's just how it's always been. Where were you at with that? Like, did you want him? Are you very grateful that you don't have him now?
Looking back at it, I did. I for sure wanted him. 2 years later, I'm definitely great. I'm definitely happy Mike McCarthy got the job. I mean, the jury's still out on Peyton with the Broncos, but they're kind of getting it turned around. But, you know, I mean, Russell Wilson, I don't know, man.
It's like trying to build, I don't know, a skyscraper out of connects. It's like, ain't gonna happen.
It's kind of
Off-brand
funny.
connections.
It's kind
Yeah,
of
it's
funny
called-
too because we're in similar situations, just somewhat just in being more satisfied with the guy that we got. When we were going through our head coaching search, there was some talk of maybe Josh McDaniels, getting a good interview, and thank you that did not happen.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
I thank the Lord every day for Nick Sirianni.
That's brutal.
Same thing with like Brandon Staley too. Like they wanted Brandon Staley. Like pretty much everybody except the guy they got. But I was a Robert Saleh guy. Like I wanted Robert Saleh. Like so Nick Sirianni didn't even know who he was. Had to go Google the guy. Just keep it real.
I like Saleh though too. So there's been a lot of talk this week, Jerry, about the defense for both teams, obviously, right? And more specifically, Dallas's defense and how it matches up with the Eagles' offense. Now, we know that Dallas is still getting a lot of pressures, but when I looked at the numbers earlier, it looks like they're having more trouble this year getting actually to the quarterback. So, if I remember correctly, they're 24th right now in quarterback hits and somewhere around 18th in sacks. Do you think that there's a specific reason for that? Do you think that that number is going to trend upward for Dallas, and do you think that they'll start trending and getting more of those sacks and QB hits versus the Eagles in their offensive line this week?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know how much it'll translate this weekend specifically, but I think those numbers will definitely start jumping up. You look at so many plays where Micah Parsons is like a millisecond too late, but forces a throwaway, and that obviously doesn't go down as a quarterback hit or a sack. I think you'll start to see some positive regression. They're definitely getting after the quarterback. Besides Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence is maybe having the best season of his career. And DT Osa Odigizua is quietly among the leaders at his position in pressures too. I think Dan Quinn values pressure more than sacks and quarterback hits because I feel like pressure just creates chaos, and that's when the Cowboys defense is at its best, when it's getting after the quarterback. Then the quarterbacks can sit back and attack the ball. Same thing with the linebackers. I know the Eagles have a pretty stable offensive line though, so I'm not sure how much pressure they'll generate this weekend, but I expect them to make Jalen Hurts sweat a little bit for sure.
So kind of flipping the script on that, right? Looking at the Dallas Cowboys offense going up against the Eagles defense, we all are well aware of, how talented the Eagles front seven is, but they've struggled a lot in their secondary, whether it be with injuries or performance issues. Knowing that McCarthy really likes to establish the run, but that it hasn't really been working as well with Tony Pollard in past weeks, do you think they're going to stick with a pass-happy game plan with Dak Prescott, or do you think he's going to still try to establish Pollard early on in the game?
Well, I don't believe this is an establish the run game. Absolutely not against the Eagles defense. You never know with Mike McCarthy. He abandoned it last week admirably against the Rams, so maybe he kind of sees the light. I wouldn't attribute all of the struggles to Tony Pollard specifically. I think he's doing better against stack boxes, weirdly enough, than light boxes, which is weird. But yeah, I would definitely expect a pass-heavy approach. I know Dak Prescott has done well against the Eagles in his career, and I know they're dealing with injuries. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Bradley Roby was ruled out today too.
Bradley Roby,
yeah.
Yeah, I would expect a lot of CeeDee Lamb in the slot to combat that. See how Nick Sirianni adjusts for sure.
I ask this question to everybody that comes on, man. We got Dak Prescott, it's the Dallas Cowboys, stars all over the place. The damn owner's a star. We got the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, all the pageantry and everything. We got the beautiful AT&T Stadium. We got all these things going on. So the Dallas Cowboys are always being presented to us, whether positively or negatively, just to get us talking, because they are one of the best brands in all sports. But I'm always interested in it may be hard to hide these guys on the Dallas Cowboys team, but those unknown guys, the guys that we don't necessarily hear about all the time because we're always hearing about Dak Prescott, those unknowns, those under the radar guys, like who are those guys that may step up and give the Eagles some problems?
Yeah, I would definitely point to linebacker Marquise Bell. He's actually a safety convert. He's come on huge the last couple of weeks without Leighton Vander Esch. He's just making so many plays against the run, filling the right gaps, not getting deceived by motion, just plugging all the right holes and making some big splash plays on third down. I would expect him to be right in the thick of it again. Damone Clark was expected to make that leap this year, I think, and while he's played solid, I kind of think Marquise Bell has maybe leapfrogged him in the pecking order with his play these last couple weeks. Looking elsewhere, I feel like Deron Bland is no longer a secret, so I don't even know if I could point to him at this point. He has 3 pick sixes this season. I still feel like Malik Hooker is the most underrated player in the secondary. I think he's the best pure tackler on the team, so I would definitely point to him as well. On offense, Jake Ferguson, I think, could give the Eagles some fits. Sorry about that. He's one of the best tight ends after the catch this season. He's got nice hands. Dak Prescott is definitely starting to earn Dak Prescott's trust, especially with Michael Gallup kind of taking a back seat there. And backup running back Rico Dowdle. Cowboys fans universally love him. He's great in pass pro, runs hard between the tackles, kind of gives that Ezekiel Elliott physicality to the running game that Tony Pollard otherwise doesn't. But yeah, those are definitely 3 players: Marquise Bell, Malik Hooker, and Rico Dowdle.
And Marquise Bell is a noted weirdly spelled first name guy too, isn't he?
Yeah, it's spelled Mark, and then he's got a Quuese. It's funky for sure.
Love that. Love that.
It's awesome. I love it.
I'm a big fan of weird names on teams. I'm a big vibes guy. Everybody knows that about me. Big vibes guy. The vibes right now. Okay, is it more of a situation with the Rangers winning the World Series? Is it more of a we can't both win the World Series and beat the Eagles? Like we can't have both, or is it a nothing can stop us right now kind of a thing? And I guess this also goes for Josh, since you're in Dallas as well.
Oh yeah, I guess it's more of like, I guess nothing can stop us. Yeah, I know you guys really don't want to hear that, but this Cowboys team is confident. I don't think they've given the Eagles any bulletin board material. If anything, they've calmed the storm, like complimented them at every turn.
Very weird.
Very weird. You don't usually see that. I guess maybe Mike McCarthy got to them after the Rams win, but yeah, I would definitely say it's more nothing can stop us right now.
Yeah, I gotta say, right now I'm working in a grocery store when I'm, not doing my writing and all that, and walking around the grocery store this week, I've seen more Cowboys, memorabilia being worn this week than I have at any other point during the season, before or after wins. It's like, so the people, at least in the area that I'm in, are at least excited about the game, clearly, wearing their team colors. Interesting that you asked that question, Jake, because I wanted to ask a question that's similar, just because, like you said, I do also live in the Dallas area. So I want to get, Jerry, your opinion on what you're getting from fans just overall these days about the team, because I feel like I've talked to more people in the last year or two who are down on the organization, just because you guys have struggled, to get to the NFC Championship game and beyond for so long now. I've talked to people, drove Uber for a while too, talking to fans. I used to be a fan, but they keep losing, blah, 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 those types of comments. And so I just wanted to see what you thought and what you've been feeling about the overall vibe of the fan base just around the team the past couple of years.
Yeah, I think the vibes have improved. I feel like the Jason Garrett era was just so hit or miss that they kind of just deflated fans. Like they didn't know what to expect every year, let alone week in and week out. So I'll go back to Mike McCarthy on that. I think he's done a good job of establishing some stability. Again, the lack of playoff success always has fans on edge, and they've yet to get it done against the 49ers, who they've seemed to be destined to play every playoffs, at least the last 2 years. And when you have an owner like Jerry Jones, who's always talking to the media and giving the media something to say, at some point fans just grow sick of it. I would say a lot of them are numb to it at this point. They just expect it from Jerry Jones. Like earlier today, I'm pretty sure he said our trade deadline was in the off season when we acquired Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. And like it's comments like that definitely deflate the fan base. So I can definitely see both sides of it, like for sure. But I would say the vibes are kind of, I would say down just because of the lack of playoff success and the lack of unknown once the playoffs come.
That's fair. Brandon, you got anything?
Yeah, so looking at really like the overall sense of the game, what's one key to victory that you think Dallas needs to do in order to win the game? And then if they were to lose the game, what do you think would happen to cause them to lose the game? So one thing on each side.
Yeah, for sure. If to cause them to lose, I would definitely say letting the Eagles establish the run early. I feel like that was their plan against the Dolphins, keep that offense off the field, control the game scripts. DeAndre Swift looked great this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like has a new maybe it's just returning home to Philly, but he looks like a completely different running back than what we saw in Detroit. But yeah, if Dallas can't stop the run, then that leads right into what Philly likes to do. Control the time of possession and let their defense get after the quarterback. Conversely, I would say attack the Eagles secondary. Keep feeding CeeDee Lamb. He's been getting open at will all season. He has like the highest success rate, highest receiving success rate of any wide receiver this season. So if Dak Prescott can find success through the air, I can definitely see this being a close game, and Dallas could win.
That's fair.
Great stuff as always, man. Give us your prediction for the game and tell everybody how they can keep up with you and continue to check out what you're doing on the daily.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I'm gonna keep it spicy. I'm gonna go with a 27-23 Cowboys win. You guys can dissect that. I'll tune out. But yeah, you guys can find me at thelandryhat.com on Fansided and on Twitter at jtrotta24.
To your credit, you're the first person that we've had on that I believe has predicted their team winning.
Really?
Yeah, actually.
So
Why is one more thing? Why has Dak Prescott been so dominant this year? Was he 8-3 against us? Like, what you guys see on your end? Like, because I can't figure it out.
I don't know. Maybe just like a familiar, like a comfortability playing at Lincoln Financial Field. Maybe he compared Lincoln Financial Field to playing at Ole Miss in the SEC and the kind the state. I bet. Honestly, who knows? I mean, he just plays well against the NFC East. I can't really explain it.
One thing that helps him out is playing in games that don't matter. So that just
That's very true. He's not. He doesn't. He has he's not a great quarterback when he's the underdog. I will say that.
Hey Jerry, if you don't mind, one more thing. You mentioned Leighton Vander Esch earlier, the Wolf Hunter, right? Isn't that his nickname?
Yeah.
Great nickname, by the way.
That's a gamer tag.
It's a great name, right? But the feelings around him, right? Because I felt like he was coming up for a while as one of the best up and coming linebackers. Then he started to get hurt, and now he's inconsistent. What is the feeling around Leighton Vander Esch right now?
Yeah, I feel like the feeling is just he's a serviceable starting linebacker. I think his rookie year, I think he made the Pro Bowl, and since then he's kind of plateaued, mostly because of injuries. But when he's in there, you could feel his presence. I do think, however, that Marquise Bell and Damone Clark give a different kind of edge, like with their athleticism, allows them to cover sideline to sideline, whereas Vander Esch is more of a gap filler in the run game. But he's definitely trending down because of the injuries, especially the neck injuries. You never want to see that. So I'm kind of concerned what the future holds. But I would say he's a serviceable starting linebacker. Nothing more, nothing less.
They got a guy. There has to be a cowboy with a cowboy collar, and they got a guy who like medically needs a cowboy collar. It's fate.
That's fate.
Someone needed to replace Sean Lee.
Yep. That's a good point.
All right, Trop, man. I know it was short notice and everything. We appreciate you hanging out with us, man. First Cowboys fan I ever fell in love with. Pause. I love you, man. We appreciate you coming on and everything. I never figured out how you ended up cheering for this team, but you my guy. I appreciate you. And you did it on short notice, so that was super clutch.
Of course, it was great to chat with you guys, and best of luck on Sunday. I'm looking forward to the kickoff.
Can't wish you luck, man, but we appreciate you hanging out.
I'll take that.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Talk to you later.
Have a good one.
All right. If you tuned in late, you were listening to Jerry Trotta, editor over at the Landry Hat fan-sided source for Dallas Cowboys information. Make sure you follow them. Always some good stuff, even if you're not a fan. So we appreciate him taking time to hang out with us tonight. How you guys feeling for the game? This is why I'm feeling cool as long as it's in Philly. I'm gonna go ahead and go this first. I'm gonna throw it out there. As long as it's in Philly, I'm good. I don't know what goes on in Arlington. We have not beaten that team. I don't think we've beaten the Cowboys with a winning record since 2017. I don't think we've beaten the Cowboys in Arlington since 2017. I don't think we've beaten Dak Prescott since 2019. I'm sick of Dak Prescott. I'm tired. I hope they rip his face mask off. I'm dead serious.
They're plus 70 plus at home and -1 on the road. So there's a little something about, like you said, us being in Philly. I'm hyped. Like it's Dallas week, baby. I look forward to this every single year. You circle it on the calendar and you're just excited about it. So I'm hyped. I think we're going to win. I think it's going to be it's a game that I feel like we should be just the more dominant team overall because we're better in the places that matter the most. But the fact that it is a divisional game is what kind of throws the monkey wrench in, and it kind of gives it we'll see what happens type of a deal. But I'm still very confident the Eagles are going to pull out the victory at home in front of all the fans.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident too, and I don't want to spoil my thing for what the headline's going to be going into next week. But it being in Philly, DeAndre Swift game.
Yeah, I'm just excited for a good football game. Like honestly, we can talk about Dallas hate week and all that, and it's very warranted. But these are two of the best teams in the NFC. In an NFC that, quite frankly, doesn't have many good teams right now. Like, you got maybe 5, 6 if you really want to stretch it. Like, if you really look at the playoff bracket, right, there is a legitimate shot that 2 teams as of today from the NFC South would make the playoffs. That's the state we're in this overall conference. So as a result of that, you got to enjoy the good games when you have them. And I think this is going to be one of them. And I'm very confident in the Eagles' ability to win this game, but I don't think this is going to be one of those cakewalk, the Dallas Cowboys don't show up for a game in Philly and the Eagles blow them out by 30. Would that be great? Absolutely. I just don't think that's what's going to happen.
I would say I think Eagles get out to a lead. I think I see it plays out like exactly like it did last year. Eagles get out to a lead. We're feeling pretty confident. There are tense moments. Dallas makes a comeback. We're like, oh, damn, we might actually win this game. Or we might actually lose it, excuse me. And then I think by some happenstance or some luck, maybe like a long clock devouring drive late in the thing, I think we probably pull it out that way. That's what I'm thinking.
Basically the Vikings game.
Basically the Vikings game, yeah.
You mentioned before the Eagles haven't beaten the Cowboys when they've had a winning record. Is that what you were saying before?
Since 2017, I think when the Cowboys have a winning record, we haven't beaten them.
Did they not have a winning record in like what the first game last year when it was the Cooper Rush game?
I think they were sub 500 and things of that nature. And I think they caught fire with Cooper Rush at some point, and I think Dak actually ended up getting them over 500.
Okay,
I believe that was right. I believe it was sub 500 at the time.
Yeah, because I know Cooper. Everybody was high on Cooper Rush because like he hadn't lost a game until that game. I thought they might have been. Maybe they were at 500 or below. Maybe
I think he smacked Kirk Cousins around because I remember thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? They keep telling me Kirk Cousins is good, but he's on the field with a guy who's never played before. And if I was giving that description to 2 different guys, like a guy who's supposed to be good and a guy that's the veteran, the guy who's got all the experience, and the guy who was the rookie. And I had to make the determination of which guy was which without actually seeing anything. I wouldn't know who was who. I would have thought Kirk Cousins would have been the guy who had never started the game before. Cooper Rush was the secure and the veteran that actually had some steam to him. But that's just me.
So I want to say this. When I feel like a lot of the games against the Cowboys have been weird, right? So
Where's
Carson
Bill
Wentz, I believe, was like 3-4 against the Cowboys.
Yeah, and
Right.
he's weird too. He's weird
Right,
too.
yeah, for sure. But since the Carson days, right, we've had backup quarterbacks sometimes playing them or them having backups playing us. We know Jalen and Dak have only been on the field once together, as the starting quarterbacks for their teams, and that was years ago at this point. So before Jalen turned into who Jalen is now. So I don't put a ton of stock in this whole Dak has been dominating the Eagles because it doesn't paint the full picture of what's been going on in those games and who's been behind center in those games. And I think that matters. So I brush all that off. These Cowboys fans, I've been rubbing in their face in the Eagles memorabilia and just the Eagles dominance over the NFL all week. Every day they see me, they know. Big smile on my face. How y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Are you ready? And they're the ones that are nervous. That's the thing. When I'm talking to some of the Cowboys fans, I'm not hearing some of the bolster and bluster that I've heard before. I'm hearing, well, the Eagles are the better team, so they might just go ahead and win this game. It's
You're
not
not Cowboys fans?
Yes.
That's impossible. This
Yes.
is the most delusional fan base in sports.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
They have no knowledge of this game. Like, I refuse to believe it.
that's what I mean.
I mean, if you really think about it, though, like, you could argue it makes sense because the way the Eagles and Cowboys have both gotten to their records have been probably the two complete opposite ways you could get to those records, where outside of one letdown game, the Eagles have been consistently finding ways to win. And that's not saying they've been a perfect team, but even in the games that they've struggled, they've done other things really well to help win those games. You look at Dallas, you could argue it might be a different team after the 49ers game, but they've had a lot of blowouts and they've been blown out or lost by double digits in their losses. So you have the highs and you have the really lows. There hasn't really been that consistent Dallas Cowboys team yet. And maybe the post 49ers game team is what they're really like. Maybe the Rams game and the Chargers game, what they're really like. But at the end of the day, there's no way to really know that at the moment. So I could see that, Dallas fans coming into this game be like, hey, they obviously have a shot to win, but there's also a shot that playing against a really good team, they don't show up. So there's like that dichotomy of what can actually
and
happen.
real quick, to that point, they've been talking about, trying to discredit our wins now since the beginning of last year, though, right? It's like, but you just beat this person and they weren't that good. You'll be humbled when you play us and Cooper Rush, then we beat them. You'll be humbled when you play this team, then we beat. And when you get to the playoffs, you're playing nothing but playoff teams, and you're going to be humbled. And then we make the Super Bowl. Then but next year you have a harder schedule, the number one schedule, and it's going to be different. We're 7-1. We just keep winning. So they might have to. They might be resigned to the fact that, all right, man, they just got it going on, and we better treat them with respect.
Yeah,
Two
it's
things
like
to your point. Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's like they're two different teams, and the Eagles have been the more consistent team, and that's a lot of my reason why I'm not as worried if I'm an Eagles fan in this game, because the Eagles have found ways to win. If the run game gets shut down, A.J. Brown broke the record for the most games with 125 plus and multiple scores. Like, if the passing game somehow got shut down, they'll run the ball or they'll figure something out with Jalen. Like, there's multiple ways for the Eagles to win. And while the Cowboys have shown that too, it just hasn't been as consistent. And that's, I feel like, the main crux of this matchup. And we're obviously weeks away, but it's going to be interesting to see where both these teams end up for matchup number 2. But right now, week 9, this specific matchup, it's all about the consistency, and the Eagles are the team that have shown it so far. The Cowboys aren't at that level of consistency to match the talent that they have on their roster.
Two things, man. So first of all, three. First of all, to John's point earlier, I like the whole argument about, you got to look at circumstances and things of that nature, because I keep forgetting 2020 was actually January 2021. The Eagles aren't playing for anything and they rest all the starters and stuff like that. So Dak blew them out in that game. That was really impressive. And there was 2020 was like Jalen's first start or something like that, and the team was trash. And the only thing I remember about that game was the bomb to Deshaun Jackson, which actually ended up being Deshaun Jackson's last touchdown catch as Eagle, believe it or not. But I don't know, man. I trust you guys' opinion. I need to start hanging out where you guys are hanging out, because I'm still surrounded by disgusting Cowboys fans, regardless of what happens. This was like the first shit time last year was the first time I ever heard the Dallas Cowboys lose. I didn't hear somebody say, well, we're going to win the Super Bowl again next year, right? It's the most delusional fan base I've ever seen in all the sports. And regardless of where I go, maybe you guys are just hanging out better spots, but everywhere I go, they're still the most annoying fans in the world. And as soon as they win anything, let it be like a blowout win over the Los Angeles Rams, all of a sudden I start seeing blue and gray all over again. You can walk around Charlotte, North Carolina, Carolina Panthers fans who have been Carolina Panthers fans, all of a sudden start wearing blue and gray. Now they're Dallas Cowboys fans. It's like, dude, you just liked the Panthers last week. It's like, those are the Dallas Cowboys fans I know. That's those Dallas Cowboys fans I know.
I just did the math. I wanted to see if there was a situation that was like when we were playing the Dolphins, when the teams that they had beaten were what was the record, 5 and 24 is what we figured it out. Mm-hmm. I wanted to see what the strength was there. I just did the math. I think it's correct, but their teams that they've beaten are 11 and 18. Not as big of a difference, but I just wanted to, in case anybody was wondering what that number was, what the record of the team that they were playing was, is 11 and 18.
If you want to rattle them off, who have their wins been against?
Their wins have been against, let me pull that page back up, Giants, Jets, Patriots,
wow,
Chargers, Rams.
See what I'm saying? Now, that was my third point, man. They haven't played anybody, but they're winning. That argument only seems to apply to us. It doesn't apply to anybody else. Anybody else can play like a whack schedule. They can win. This is not an argument. As soon as we do it, all of a sudden it's like we've been demonized for playing the schedule that's in front of you. I don't get it.
Yeah, and what people need to realize, to put that to bed too, is Jalen Hurts is 6-0 against winning teams. In the regular season of the past couple of years, he's 6-0 against winning teams. So, I mean, when he plays those teams, he wins anyway. So, what are we really doing here?
So to pull up, not to cut you off, but to pull up the
good.
teams the Eagles have beaten, right? So they beat the Patriots, they beat the Vikings, they beat the Buccaneers, they beat the Commanders, they beat the Rams, lost to the Jets, beat Miami, beat the Commanders again. Look, I'm not saying the Eagles' strength of schedule has been miles ahead of what the Dallas Cowboys has been, but it's definitely better. It's 100% better. And look, did the Eagles lose to the Jets? Yes. But once again, this is where context is important. When did the Cowboys play the Jets? Literally the week after they lost Aaron Rodgers to the Achilles injury, on a short week. The Eagles got the Jets in the middle of a stretch where, to put it quite frankly, they got their you-know-what together. And their defense was clicking on all cylinders, and they were getting better play out of guys like Jermaine Johnson. It's all about sometimes catching teams at the right moment. And the teams the Cowboys have blown out are the Jets, are the Giants, are the Patriots. Giants and Patriots legitimately might be picking top 5 this season. So they lost to the Cardinals, the Cowboys. They might be picking top 5 this season. So when someone says the Eagles haven't beat anyone, has Dallas beat anyone either? Are we going to really call the Chargers a good team? Are we really going to call the Rams a good team? No, we're not. So I'd honestly say these teams are on even footing, and with an even footing schedule, the Eagles have done better than the Cowboys.
They always this league prides itself on parity. Like bad teams pick first in the draft. You have free agency literally go from worst to first in a couple of months. Like I think we can retire the whole they don't play anybody argument because good teams are going to have bad stretches.
Any given Sunday. Any given Sunday,
anybody can lose to anybody, but we can retire that argument because, like, I think it was you, Brandon, a couple minutes earlier said like 5 decent teams in the NFC. That's probably true out of 16. And because I actually was going through my mind, like, okay, the South, we can just throw them all the way out. The South is done. Detroit is good, I believe, but Detroit's not ready. San Francisco, regardless of what's going on over there, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you San Francisco can't play. They're on a losing streak. And then what else? Dallas?
Seattle.
Yeah.
Take away injuries.
Say, like, I might end up being right. I told everybody Seattle was a team in the West and not San Francisco. Like, remember that? Everybody said
yes.
Right. We'll see what happens, though.
Honestly, though, take away injuries, take away those factors. You can poke a hole in every single team in the entirety of the NFL. Every single one. There is not one team that is just like a fortress where they're perfect on every side of the ball. The Eagles have their secondary struggles, right? The Cowboys are too inconsistent. Like, run down every team in the NFC, AFC, whoever. There's not one single overall elite team that can just beat everyone on a day-to-day basis. Like, the Commanders. Are we going to say the Commanders are this amazing football team? No. But for whatever reason, this season, they basically played the Eagles to a standstill on both sides of the football.
So there's
no logic behind it, and that's the thing. Teams have let down games. Teams don't show up in some weeks. Teams inexplicably win games that they're not supposed to. It happens every single year in the NFL. So to your point, like 100%, that argument, oh, you haven't played anyone. It's like, okay, maybe they haven't, but it's also predicated on so many other factors that you playing a team at 1 week isn't the same playing the same team a different week.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, winning like 20 of your last 24 games or whatever that stat is phenomenal, no matter how you try to slice it and pick apart somebody's schedule. But I'm glad that you brought up the whole thing. We're talking about the schedules and Sam Howell. So Sam Howell right now is top 10 in the league in yards in the entire league. He's top 10. He's also top 10 in touchdown passes thrown this year. Okay, so while we're out here acting like Sam Howell is Zach Wilson, I'm
a Sam Howell fan. Like, don't get that wrong.
I don't mean you, Brandon. I mean, people in general who have been trying to kill the Eagles because you let Sam Howell throw all over you. So people are talking out of both sides of their mouths in that because they'll also say it's a divisional game. You never know what happens in divisional games. They can be very low scoring, they can be high scoring, and you just never know. But then you're going to kill the Eagles for having the type of game against a divisional opponent that we had. I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. We talk about the secondary struggling, but is the defense overall truly struggling? Take out the Commanders games, which we just got through to saying divisional opponents, whatever Sam Howell, how he's been playing this year. The Dolphins, did we not just hold them to their lowest point total of their season, the 17 points?
Yeah.
Okay, we lost to the Jets. They scored 20 points. One of those was a pick six, and we turned the ball over 50 times that game. Is that truly on the defense being horrible, or is that circumstance? The game before that was the Rams. We held them to 14 points. They're that bad. The Buccaneers before the Washington game, the first one was before that. Skip that. The Buccaneers game. We're going back to week 3 now.
Right.
We were both 3-0 at that point. We held them to 11 points. Okay, so it has to. We're going back before week 3 to week 2 when we still beat the Vikings, but they scored 28 points, and that's the highest point total anyone has scored against us outside of the division opponent Commanders, who also played us tough last year. So I just don't think that the sky is falling on the Eagles' defense and secondary like some people are trying to make it seem, because teams are still struggling to get in the end zone.
Well said. When you're right, you're right. I ain't even got nothing to add to that. I'm interested in this. We got a Jake's Takes.
Yeah. Do you want to pull that up real quick?
All right, let's do it.
Jake's
Takes.
Takes.
All right, let's get into it. Phenomenal picture, by the way, Jake. Phenomenal picture.
Please. Thank you very much. Okay, so this one, all right. So I don't know if you guys saw this or listened to it for that matter. The Philly special, the Philly special Christmas, that they came out with a new single today.
Right.
The All I Want for Christmas Is You, and it is very, very heavy Jordan Mailata. He's a phenomenal singer. Okay. As an entertainer of sorts, I like to try to assess people's level of talent. Okay. And in my mind, the most talented person in the world is Jamie Foxx. The man has everything. He's a phenomenal comedian, phenomenal actor and singer. The guy is incredibly talented. And up until this morning, I used to believe that what's his name? Justin Timberlake was the second most talented person in the world. My take.
Go ahead.
My take is that Jordan Mailata is more talented than Justin Timberlake. That's my take. Because you look at Justin Timberlake, good singer, great singer. I'm not a huge Justin Timberlake guy, but I respect his level of talent. Okay, good singer, a great singer, good actor. Okay, he did funny. He doesn't write his jokes when he's on Saturday Night Live. He has things that people have written for him. When he's an actor, it's a script that stuff that's been written for him. I'm not saying that Jordan Mailata wrote All I Want for Christmas Is You. I'm not saying Jordan Mailata drew up the blocking schemes and everything like that and drew up the running game, but he's an incredibly talented, one of the most talented left tackles in the entire NFL. And if he can sing and be like, and you can listen to it and be like, damn, that's pretty close to what Justin Timberlake can do. Jordan Mailata, I mean, didn't just come from right below Justin Timberlake. Jordan Mailata went from like the 500th talented person in the world to number 2. Like, he is incredibly talented. And if you haven't heard the song, the man's got pipes. So my take, that is it.
You know what? I'm so happy you brought this up, because I was going to bring this up on the show if you didn't bring this up. Because I'm just scrolling through Instagram and I see this and I'm listening. I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, wait a minute. You see Jason Kelsey's reaction just be like,
yeah.
He's like, you sing like this? Okay.
He's looking at him in the video like, how the hell can you do that?
It's legitimately impressive. And it's like, I think to your point, I don't think it's as hot of a take as you might say, because when we say talent, we're including everything the guy does. If you're an all-pro tackle and you can sing, I mean, that's pretty high up there.
Right. He's
forget his rugby days,
Yeah.
He's
an even better athlete than he is a singer, and he's a tremendous singer. He is incredibly talented, number 2 in my book.
Speaking of which, Jordan Mailata, come on now. What I say about that boy playing well? He is playing great this year. When we're going through like the Madden ratings and all of that at the beginning of the season, and we started talking about their guys, and
they gave him a boost.
Yep, damn right. He needs a boost. He needs a
still won't get the game though. Trash game, but happy they're giving him a boost.
You know what?
You will not.
I've been doing that wild card football one. Fun. It's like an arcade football thing. It's like almost like a mix between NFL Street and NFL Blitz.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's fun. It's kind of clunky, a little bit buggy, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm just playing Spider-Man. I'm enjoying that a lot.
There you go.
NCAA football comes out next year. We'll see if Clemson's on it. Like, got an NCAA football game, no Clemson. Great job, Nick.
Oh, please. Also, I don't know if
Great job.
Tweet somebody put out, I guess Howie Roseman is going to be on this new album singing the Dreidel song.
Hey, unrelated, but did y'all hear about George Pickens?
Yes, I saw this today.
Yeah, George Pickens last night, 2 catches for -1 yard, was not happy after the game, left the locker room quick.
He said,
posted
"Free me."
on his Instagram, free me. Deleted all mention of the Steelers and all those pictures associated with the Steelers. Deleted them all. Only thing up there is the stuff from back in Georgia, I think it was. Yeah, so I find that very intriguing. You would have liked for him to probably do it before the trade deadline passed, but
I saw that the picture of him after Deontay Johnson caught his first touchdown. Man, I almost wish that he had one more target so that way, because he was at 199 targets, however many catches it was before he caught a touchdown. I wish it got to 200. But like Deontay Johnson's doing what's the movie? Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank?
Yeah. He was doing that. Like he finally got it. But then George Pickens is sitting on the bench looking like a grumpy goose. Like, buddy, he's a sassy man.
If I want to play devil's advocate here, the guy is an insanely talented receiver and probably could be a wide receiver one on most teams. Pittsburgh just doesn't consistently throw the ball. And the problem is, I think, for Pickens, and why he probably is a little bit upset with the Steelers, is with Deontay back, they're not throwing him the football. And yeah, he probably should have had a touchdown last night.
Yeah, that's on him.
Drag his feet. But
isn't George Pickens like in year 2?
Yeah,
this is your.
He's not going anywhere. Like, what are we doing?
No, he's under team control. Well, that was the other part about like the trade deadline. The Steelers are going to be like, deal with it, because he's under team control.
Yep.
Tough, dude.
I'm actually learning about StreamYard tonight. Like, I think I heard everything you said, John. So George Pickens deleted everything about Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and he put free. And he put.
You didn't notice I left you guys for a while. I was actually trying to turn your microphone up, and I cut me off. So that's what
no, I just saw you fall off the stream. I was like, I guess.
Yeah, I was trying to turn John's microphone up and cut me off, like cutting me out of the whole broadcast. I was like, I hope that get rid of everybody.
Jeff, did you hear the part where I said that he also posted "free me" on his?
Oh no, I missed that one.
Yeah, he put free. He deleted it, but he posted "free me" on his Instagram.
Good luck with that. Year 2 of a rookie contract, and they got a 5th-year option, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he like a first rounder?
No, because he
was
a
first
second
rounder.
rounder.
Okay, cool.
What an idiot. Yeah, him not dragging his feet, him not getting that touchdown, buddy. That is on you. That is all.
Did we mention that the Steelers won the game?
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, it's on him. I agree. I saw that play. He should have dragged his feet, but at the same time, you're telling them you had one chance, and he's like, "That's all I'm gonna get, though."
They won the game. They won the game.
I'm with you on that, Brandon. That's all they should.
They won the game.
Remember when there was a training camp battle between Andre Dillard and Jordan Mailata? Remember that?
I saw Andre Dillard last night, and that's the first time I remember he was alive this year. Like,
yeah, I saw. I was like, oh my god, I forgot.
I haven't thought about him since March, and I was like, saw him as like, oh snap, that's Andre Dillard.
Well, he got benched last week.
I forgot about Terrell Edmonds, man. Like, I saw Terrell Edmonds last night. I was like, oh well, gosh.
He played so poorly. He played so poorly. Oh my goodness gracious!
If I'm a Titans fan, man, I'm like, what? Okay. The Titans give us AJ Brown and Kevin Byard, and
rumors we might take Derrick Henry.
Yeah, they get Terrell Edmonds and Andre Dillard.
Terrell Edmonds, though, it seemed like if there was a game he wanted to play well in, that would have been the game.
Yeah.
It's not even.
So I'm glad about, man. We got about 5 minutes left. So I want to get you guys' opinion on the game, stuff like that. So Jalen Carter, full participant with the back issue and stuff like that. I always worry about backs, but he was a full participant. As was Jordan Davis, Sewell Petta, Jack Stoll, Milt Williams. So I'm assuming Sewell Petta is going to start, even though Tyler Steen took some snaps right beside Lane Johnson. Well, between Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey in practice. James Bradbury was a limited participant with the thigh issue. Grant Calcaterra with a concussion. Looks like he was limited and out. Cam Jurgens looks like he's going to be out. Boston Scott, Bradley Robier out. Any of these injuries got any bearing on the game? You guys feeling like this is going to have anything to do with what happens on Sunday?
I think I like Tyler Steen. I like him over Suopeta. The Boston Scott being out, I believe, is a personal reason. Hope everything's good for him because I like him a lot. Rashad Penny, you're active, pal.
Yeah. Will they play him though?
Well, okay.
They listen.
No, they won't.
We're just trying to get as much as we can towards him. All right.
Gainwell hasn't been playing
active.
that great. Gainwell hasn't been playing that great over the last, couple of weeks. Like, if Boston Scott's not going to be there, please, let's give Penny some touches.
Yeah, after Boston Scott fumbled in the within the 5-yard line last week, he didn't get another red zone carry. I don't know why they don't give the carries to DeAndre Swift. Maybe they're trying to save him from high impact plays and stuff like that. But put Rashad Penny in there, see what he can do in the red zone. The man is a cannonball, like just cannonball. Just launch him. Like Jalen Hurts is hampered. You're not going to give him have him run the ball in the red zone. Fingers crossed. They will. They will. I don't know why I said that.
It's been one of the
let Rashad Penny do it. Give the ball to Rashad Penny. Let him score a touchdown his first game.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's been one of the more mind-boggling things, the usage or lack thereof of Rashad Penny. But you said thoughts on the game and impacts of the players being out. I think if we play Tyler Steen, we'll be fine. I think Suopeta will probably be fine, honestly. I don't fear the Dallas pass rush like that with the assortment of talent that we have on the line. So I think we'll be fine either way, though. I prefer Tyler Steen. Bradley Roby being out still is less than ideal just because Bradbury has been struggling, whether he's outside or inside. So that is a bit concerning. But I'm hoping that with an extra week in the defense with Kevin Byard, that they'll be solid enough on the back end to hold everything down. So, I mean, Eagles are going to win the game. That's all that matters.
Yeah, this is the first game that they've had a consecutive combination of players in the defensive backfield.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm gonna say 24. I'm gonna say 24-20. It's tighter than I like it to be, but I'll say 24-20. Probably should be a little bit lengthier or expansive, or there should be some distance between them. But I feel like the Eagles do what they do. Like they go soft coverage with the game in hand, and they give up a late touchdown. It has nothing to do with anything. 24-20.
Brandon, did you have thoughts on it? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm a little bit concerned. Not necessarily with the fact that like Steen or Opeta are gonna just crumble, but Dallas has a pretty good interior pass rush, and I'm worried to see how much the guard play impacts that. But with Jason Kelce there, I don't think it should be that much of an issue because you have the veteran presence. I think just by having someone like that, it by association just raises the production of everyone else to where I think similar to what Jeff said, I think it's going to be a 21-20 Eagles victory, maybe like a last minute Jake Elliott field goal to win them the game where I just think this is going to be a tight one. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close, grinded out type game, NFC East special where the Eagles just escape with the victory.
33-24.
I'll take it.
I think it's going to be. I think my way of thinking of it is that it's going to be a run heavy game, mixed with I think the AJ Brown streak ends here. I think that it's going to be a big Devontae Smith game, but I'm going Eagles 24, Dallas 10. I don't think they're going to be able to get the ball moving. I think that Sean Desai's smart enough to be able to stop one single receiver who's a threat, and they're not going to be able to move the ball on the ground at all. I think that the Eagles will be able to do the ball control game, which I know I've said that in the past, but it hasn't been true. But I like 24-10.
What you mean? Who? Come on now. Birds, baby.
Birds here, baby. Going
Birds. Come on, architect. It's birds all day.
Actually, I'm hoping for a Ja or a Jake score because, with all the stress we've been going through these past couple of weeks and things of that nature, like for the most part of October, like a blowout would do me just fine. So I'm going.
Oh,
You guys are right.
Something to keep an eye on with Swift and Bayer both being Philly boys, being able to play in this game for the first time. I'm hoping and expecting big games, strong contributions from both of them. Also, Dallas, from what I recall, if I remember this correctly, 25th in the league defending tight ends. So look out for Dallas Goedert to have a big game potentially.
I do want to do an addendum to my score. I think it could be 24-17 if the Eagles continue to do these dumb things, like with DeAndre Swift scoring at the end of that last game. If he knees it down at the 1 yard line, game's over right there. If AJ Brown didn't score in the first Commanders game, they can knee it down and the game doesn't come close at all. Doesn't go to overtime. So if they can clean that stuff up, I know in the press conference today, Nick Sirianni said he wanted to play clean ball. I assume that means not just turnovers and stuff, but I am hoping that it means playing smart ball. And I mean, congratulations on padding the stats. I love touchdowns. Everybody loves touchdowns, but also we saw it happen in the Super Bowl with Jerick McKinnon taking a knee and killing the game. Hopefully the Eagles can start doing some of that stuff rather than, putting up a billion points. But if they don't do that, I think that the Cowboys could get another one of those late garbage time touchdowns.
Cool. All minds clear?
Did we want to do what the storylines are going forward in the next week?
You guys can. I gotta go.
Oh, shit. You gotta go. You gotta go. Yeah, never mind. I was dumb. That was dumb. That was dumb of me.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah. You guys ended it perfectly. I don't really have much to put on that other than I hate Dallas.
There you go.
Like their fans. Like I remember being a kid and I saw that clip of that guy like, Dallas, we want you. At the vet, we hate you. And the Dallas Cowboys are how I learned what hate is. Like I despise this team. Like there's nothing about this team that I feel like is redeeming. Football would not be football without the Dallas Cowboys. Let's say that, but I hate the Dallas Cowboys to the point where I hate Jamie Foxx now because he likes the Dallas Cowboys. I despise this football team, and that's
let's take it into the bye week on a positive note, fellas.
That's what I want, baby.
Let's do it. Let's go on, and then they got a stranglehold in the NFC if they do that. So, thank you everybody for hanging out with us on a Friday, taking time out your night to hang out with us, and thanks Jerry Trotta for taking time to hang out with us on short notice. Check them out, the Landry Hat. Check us out every day on InsideTheIggles.com. At Inside The Iggles on X. Check us out on YouTube, like us on Facebook by the same name. We appreciate y'all for hanging out. We appreciate y'all to watch this show later like you always do. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all on Monday after a victory.
Yeah, I'm right. Go Birds, baby.
Go Birds.